Hello everyone and welcome to the Winter Games. That's right, my video game pickups for December 2017. As per usual, gameplay footage included for every game on this video. And first up we have some hardware, and I picked up the Nintendo Switch. Really excited to have this console. I've been wanting one for quite a while and I finally picked one up. And with that I also picked up the Pro Controller. Now, it's not that I didn't trust the Joy-Cons, but I wanted a regular controller so I could play it docked on the TV, which is probably how I'll be playing it most of the time. I also picked up this HD video converter along with the hardware right here. This will allow me to record much better quality old systems because it's Scart to HDMI, and that'll be great for streaming and recording for these video game pickups. And let's move on to the games. First up, I picked up for the Commodore 64, Heatwave. Ironically hot for the chilling season, this is Heatwave, and we have a huge collection of games on one cassette here, which is really impressive. The games included are Nebulous, Ranarama, Firelord, Impossible, Xenoblade, Neverworld, and Alley Cat. Now there are some really cool space shooters here, Xenoblade and Alley Cat, and some really cool gameplay with Ranarama, which is the game you're seeing right now. Lots of really cool games on this collection, and I thought it was a great way to pick them all up in one package, Heatwave for the Commodore 64. So have a fantastic time, as the tagline on the back says. And next up we have I.C.U.P.S. for the Commodore 64. This is a space shooter for the Commodore, and I love space shooters, but truthfully the only reason I picked this up is because it features music from Barry Litch, who composed many of my favourite game soundtracks on the Commodore. You are a special agent of the International Commission for Universal Problem Solving, I.C.U.P.S. But that doesn't really matter because the game is a space shooter. Like many space shooters, you're just shooting down aliens and travelling along the screen. And that's what I want to see, and that's what I enjoy playing. Awesome music as you expect, and awesome gameplay. I.C.U.P.S. for the Commodore 64. And next up we have Fortified Zone. This is a really interesting game for the Game Boy. It's a top-down shooter, but it has a lot of unique aspects to it. You play the game as two characters and you can switch between them as the game continues. They both have different strengths and weaknesses. For example, the male soldier uses heavy weapons and can throw grenades. He has a bit more health, but he can't jump, so he gets stuck by obstacles. On the other hand, the female soldier can jump to get over obstacles, but she has a little less health, but she's a bit faster. If one of your characters dies in the game, it's okay, because all you need to do is pick up a health pack and you can switch back to that character and they'll be revived. But if both characters die, it's game over. Really fun game, cool boss battles, Fortified Zone for the Game Boy. Next up we have Cool Spot. This is a very cool, if you pardon me saying that, platformer for the Sega Mega Drive. This game was also on the Super Nintendo, which I believe has a little better colour palette. This game looks really cool, and I've said it again, but I do have a problem with how slow this game scrolls, and your character seems to jump in slow motion as well. Overall, I didn't find this extremely appealing, especially if you compare it to something like Sonic or Mario. I didn't really feel this game. But it's an interesting platformer I haven't played before, and it's really cool to pick it up. A really cool game right there. Cool Spot on the Sega Mega Drive. Next up we have Force Gemini for the Nintendo 64 in the box. I got this at a fantastic price of £12 in the box at CEX. No manual, but that's a very good price for a boxed Nintendo 64 game. Truthfully, I already have this on Rare Replay for the Xbox One, and I had considered capturing the gameplay footage from the Xbox One. But then I thought it would probably be easier to capture this by S-Video than it would be to wait through the Xbox One updating to capture it by HDMI. A really cool thing about this game is it supports widescreen, but I can't capture widescreen by standard definition on my Elgato Game Capture. This is a really fun platform shooter by Rare. A terrific game up to the quality you expect of all of Rare's titles. Force Gemini for the Nintendo 64. Next up we have Overboard for the PlayStation 1. This game is known as Shipwreckers overseas. That's right, you're going to get your ship wrecked in this game. Now, as the name suggests, this is a ship-to-ship combat game, and it's really fun and really silly. There's lots of vessels and fortifications for you to take on in this game, as well as traps to work your way around. But I suspect the best way to play this is with a couple of friends with multiplayer, getting out a multi-tap on the PlayStation and having some great fun. That's Overboard for the PlayStation 1. Our next game is Riven, the sequel to Myst, on the PlayStation 1. This is a full motion video game, and as the title tells you, it's the sequel to Myst. This is on 5 CDs, can you believe that? Now this game looks fantastic, and full motion video games are a guilty pleasure of mine, I admit that. Although I suspect the best way to play this will be on the PC because the resolution will be a bit higher, it's still really cool to have this on the PlayStation where you can just put it in and play it instantly. Enter a world torn asunder by timeless, unresolved conflicts. A world of incomparable beauty, intrigue, and betrayal. A really immersive adventure mystery game. That's Riven, the sequel to Myst, on the PlayStation 1. Next up we have Tenchu, Wrath of Heaven. Live by honor, kill by stealth. Move like a shadow, strike like a snake. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Now if you're familiar with the Tenchu game series, you'll know this is a ninja style stealth game. And although I don't normally like stealth games, I actually do like this game quite a lot. Play get this game 93% saying it's stylish, unique, and violently fun. Tenchu is essential, and I would agree with that because this game is really cool. The graphics are great, so you're not necessarily tied to stealth as you can just go out there and hack at your enemies, which is what I did. But you are rewarded for stealth kills as they're much less dangerous and kill silently, so you don't attract unwanted attention and get yourself swarmed. Earn 9 unlockable new abilities in 26 intense single-player missions. Rely on stealth and over 30 authentic ninja weapons and tools. Engage in 2 lethal multiplayer modes, co-op and deathmatch. After amassing an army of ninjas and lords of darkness, the mysterious Tenrai has begun a quest to conquer 16th century Japan. Now your master, Lord Goda, has called upon you, a cunning stealth assassin, to stop Tenrai and his disciples before all is lost. Next up we have Dead to Rights Reckoning. This Dead to Right game is exclusive for the PSP, and you have the right to remain ruthless, is the tagline on the back here. Jack Slate and his best friend Shadow, which is a dog, are cleaning up Grant City, no matter what sort of filth stands in their way. Brutal disarms and slick kill moves combined with graphics and sound that push the limits of the PSP system. Now I don't know about all of that, but this game is really fun. It's simple, but it's fun. All you do is you go around shooting the hell out of things. Occasionally you might do a slow motion dive or order your dog to attack somebody. The disarm and kill moves are cool, but mainly this is mindless shooting, and I'm okay with that because this is the type of game that I actually do quite like a lot. The sort of thing I wish I'd had on the PSP back in the day when I originally got it. This would be perfect to push those endless hours into button bashing mayhem. That's Dead to Rights Reckoning for the PlayStation Portable. Next up we have Gangs of London for the PSP. This is another game exclusive to the PSP, and I would compare this game to Grand Theft Auto in terms of gameplay. Although to make it easier to load on the PSP, it's not open world and everything is divided up into individual missions, but you can do everything you enjoy in GTA, like gunning people down on foot and racing cars and driving into people. At the start of the game you pick a gang and you go to work taking over the city. Pick one of 5 playable gangs and lead your crew in 60 plus missions. Experience the gang stories through unique animated graphic novels. Now one thing I will say is the comic book style cutscenes are one of the coolest things about this game. And those will be completely different depending on what mission and what gang you choose. Explore the accurately recreated London streets in multiplayer free roaming modes, although you have to unlock those through story mode. So there you go, that's Gangs of London for the PlayStation Portable. And next up we have Gauntlet, 7 Sorrows for the original Xbox. This is fast-paced button-bashing hack-and-slash action. Nothing fancy here whatsoever, just hammer those buttons and kill everything around you. This game was surprisingly fun. Unite as heroes, fight as warriors, live as legends. Get your team together for a fast-paced hack-and-slash adventure, now with online co-op. Wow, I bet that doesn't work anymore. For the first time ever, you can gather your team from anywhere in the Earth realm. Again, don't think those servers will be online anymore, which depressingly is the future of every online game. Now truthfully, I think the real joy in this game will come from playing it multiplayer, gathering a few friends and hacking away at everything that comes across your path. Having said that, the game is still quite enjoyable in single player mode, but I feel like I'm missing out. That's Gauntlet 7 Sorrows for the original Xbox. Next up we have Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones for the original Xbox. Official Xbox magazine Elite gave this game 9.2 out of 10. But you want to know what I think? I think this game sucks. I think this game sucks donkey testicles, that's what. It's difficult to explain without playing the game, but the controls are really bad. It's not like they're unresponsive, they just feel somehow wrong, with you jumping and veering in the wrong directions on the platforming parts. Now, fighting your enemies is not so bad, but you've got to get to them first without accidentally jumping off a ledge, which happened to me a lot. The controls just really felt out of whack, and I couldn't enjoy this game. One warrior, two souls. You will battle to save your people, you will fight to exact revenge. But the greatest war that rages inside of you is the battle for your soul. Or possibly against the controls. That's Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones on the original Xbox. And now we have Dark for the Xbox 360. A stealth adventure to sink your teeth into, says 360 Gamer magazine, and that's kind of a pun because this is a game about vampires. In fact, there's a quote from someone called 13-1 on the front saying, "Could be the most exciting vampire game since Bloodlines the Masquerade." That would be Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines for the PC. And with that, I hope the game isn't quite as glitchy as Bloodlines was, although that game is awesome. Having said that, you may be seeing a bit of screen tearing on the video. That's not in the actual game, that was for my capture device. You are a shadow in the dark. You are the ultimate hunter. Your name is Eric Bane. You are a vampire. Now this game suggests stealth action meets RPG. It gives you a chance to explore the multiple environments and enter a world of blood and darkness, fight fearsome opponents and use powerful vampiric powers and melee attacks. Looks like a very interesting game, certainly has very appealing graphics and art style. It's a lot like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, that's Dark for the Xbox 360. Next up we have Fable The Journey. It's a Kinect game. And yes, I do have a Kinect sensor, so I am able to play this. I was really intrigued by the idea of playing Fable with a Kinect. Beware the magic, the fate of Albion is in your hands. Your easygoing nomadic lifestyle is forever altered when you suddenly become successor to vast and mysterious powers. Set off to uncover the evil that threatens the land as you learn to control your growing magic and bring to bear the powers that will decide the future of Albion. The power is in your hands. Use your hands to quickly craft and wield magic in ways you never dreamed possible. Familiar and beautiful. Travel through the world of Albion in the best looking Fable game of all time. Epic story, legendary experience. Plunge into deep and immersive gameplay in your journey to save Albion. Now that's all well and good, but in the first hour of this game, all I was doing was learning how to control a horse-drawn wagon. And that's it. Now I definitely applaud this game for its graphics, and I really appreciate a single well done story. The problem is I never got to see any story, because my arms were getting tired by the time the horse had got anywhere near where I was supposed to be going. It's really fantastic technology, it's interesting, but it always felt like a bit of a novelty. That's a Kinect game, Fable The Journey for the Xbox 360. And next up we have Rage. Anarchy edition for the Xbox 360 from the creators of Doom and Quake, and I will say that this Anarchy edition did include all of the DLC. Despite me buying it for £1.50 second hand, those codes were not used, so I was able to install all of the bonus content. It included a bunch of extra items in the Anarchy edition pack as well as the Wasteland Sewer Missions DLC. So that was really cool and an unexpected bonus given how little I paid for this. Now as you'd expect, this game is a lot like Doom and Quake, being a Twitch first-person shooter. In fact, IGN is quoted on the back saying, "One big, crazy, awesome shooter." After an asteroid impacts Earth, humanity attempts to rebuild. Sheltering in cryogenic lifeboats, survivors emerge years after impact to a devastated planet where some of mankind survived in struggling settlements or murderous bandit clans, while horrific mutants roam the dead cities, and a mysterious tyrannical government is on the hunt for you. This game is the winner of more than 20 E3 awards. You can explore first-person gunplay, rage through the wastelands using an arsenal of exotic weapons and gadgets, and 3 ways to play for non-stop action. Immerse yourself in rich single-player story, intense co-op modes, or explosive online car combat. I can't say much more about this except that I loved shooting down mutants with all of the firearms and weapons at my disposal. Another game where I feel Bethesda hit it out of the park. This game is awesome. That's Rage for the Xbox 360. And next up we have Vanquish in this really cool 3D case. This game was brought to you by Sega, and it describes itself as an epic third-person sci-fi action shooter from the critically acclaimed game director Shinji Mikami. It even boasts to be the future of third-person shooters. So what is this game like? Well, it's exactly like Gears of War. No, really, it's exactly like Gears of War. Now, I'm not saying this game is too generic. It's actually quite fun. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be like other games, but there's nothing really that unique about this game. You just go around, hide behind cover, and shoot things with your guns. Nothing wrong with it. It's not broken. It's fun. Become the ultimate weapon with an unrivaled battle suit, combining deadly firepower with superhuman speed and agility. You're fast, fluid, and forensic. Storm into battle and experience high-octane gaming at its most explosive and exciting. Well, considering I only paid a couple of pounds for this, I'm very pleased. This game hits all the right spots with the correct mix of violence and insanity. That's Vanquish for the Xbox 360. And next up we have Fire Emblem Warriors for the Nintendo Switch. Now this is the limited edition, and I've already filmed an unboxing for this and my next game. By the time you watch this, those videos may already be out, but otherwise they're coming soon, so do check them out on my channel. This edition includes character art cards, but what I'm really thrilled for is the original soundtrack that spans across 3 discs. Very happy to get that. Now this is a hack and slash game, not at all like previous entries in the Fire Emblem series. As the Warriors title suggests, as they did with Hyrule Warriors, this is very much a Dynasty Warriors style of game. And that's just it. It is exactly Dynasty Warriors but with Fire Emblem characters. Still, that was enough to make me want this. I really enjoy the Dynasty Warriors games, and adding the Fire Emblem characters to that is awesome. The Warriors and the Fire Emblem franchises together at last. Heroes from the Fire Emblem universe collide. Get ready to battle countless waves of enemies and fantastic bosses as you seek to save the day with all of your favourite Fire Emblem characters. There's Fire Emblem Warriors Limited Edition for the Nintendo Switch. And next up we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Collector's Edition for the Nintendo Switch. As with Fire Emblem, I filmed an unboxing for this colossal Collector's Edition, so be sure to check that out on my channel. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is my reason for getting a Nintendo Switch. I really enjoyed Xenoblade X on the Wii U. Now don't hate me for not mentioning The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I got that on the Wii U, so I have been able to play it. This is my first big title for the Switch and my reason for picking one up. Now Xenoblade X was geared more towards online multiplayer, and what this game delivers, which is what I wanted, is a more immersive single player story. The graphics are fantastic, the game is stunning, and they've even cleaned up the combat system a little bit. The game's setting is amazing, with whole worlds being on the back of massive monsters known as Titans. The combination of driver and blades makes a very interesting combat system. You also have powerful abilities known as arcs, which affect the enemy differently depending on your placement for some of them, and others give you things like health potions to allow you to fight for longer. You also have special moves which you build up by using arts, which can really turn the tide of battle, dealing massive damage. So there you have it, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Nintendo Switch, and that's it! Those are all of my video game pickups for December 2017. Happy holidays, thank you for watching, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.